What up, YouTube? Magnificent Uncut. Where you guys at? Where you guys at? I got some new subs on this channel. So I wonder if you guys are even awake. You guys go to bed early on Saturday night. I bet everybody's asleep. I'll be lucky to get 2 people on here. Right Conservative, what's up, man? Yeah, man. Damn. You know what? Joey. My guy Joey. Joey's been one of the most consistent live stream watchers. Shout out to Joey, man. Justin, what up? Justin Brewski? What's up, Justin Bruce? Justin. Okay. Justin Brewski. What's up, guys? Make sure you give it a like, please. Give it a like. I really need to try to grow this channel. It'd be easy to just promote it on the main channel because I got like 11,000 plus subs on there. I should be able to grow this channel easily just by feeding people into this one. But I don't know. I guess I've been kind of lazy with it. But Right Conservative said I need to center my camera. What do you mean center my camera? What's wrong with my camera? You mean like this? Like that? What do you mean? You tripping, Right Conservative? I don't know what you're talking about, man. My camera's centered. You can see Trump back there. Oh, like that. Oh, you mean like so that you can see the whole flag thing. Okay, cool. Yeah. So before we go pivot into a different direction, I know, right? Priorities. I want to wrap up one thing. I want to wrap up the last video I made, which is like a week ago, which was a response to the video I made like a week ago. But let's wrap up this whole words or spells thing. I want to touch on it one more time and then we'll move beyond it. Okay. So the whole reason why I posted that, man, is because that's something that was new to me. The first time I ever heard it, I'm like, what? Words or spells? But then I started looking into it. I was open-minded about it. And I started I listened to a lot of YouTubers that are super spiritual. They're they're on super high vibrations, right? And when I first heard it, it was really foreign to me. But the more that I listened to them, the more it started to make sense. And I started to unravel things and think, I was really like in tune with what I was learning. And when you hear certain words, when I hear certain words, they trigger thoughts for me. And those thoughts could be positive or negative, good or bad, and when I hear certain words, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I don't vibe with that. So one big word, I'm just going to throw in a word out as an example for you. The word resist. Okay. Who uses the word resist? It's those on the left, the people that oppose Trump, the people that oppose the America First agenda. The word resist is a negative word. It has negative energy. It has negative vibrations that go along with it. And oh, by the way, when you resist something, you get more of what you're resisting. Let me give you an even better example of that, okay? Why would you be anti something? Anti, meaning you're focused on what you don't want. So therefore, you're going to get more of what you don't want because you're focused on it. And the universal laws we're governed by, they don't discriminate. They give you what you focus on. So if you're focusing on, I hate Donald Trump, it's like you're going to get more of Donald Trump. So if you are resisting Trump, you're going to get more of him, right? Why would you be anti-war? You should be pro-peace. Does that make sense, guys? Like, that's what I mean by like words and power and energy and vibrations. That's how it all flows together, right? Why would you be anti-Trump? Why wouldn't you just be pro Joe Biden or whoever? Focus your energy on what you want, not what you don't want. And that's kind of the avenue I wanted to really pivot this channel towards, is because I've come so far in my life and I've made so many significant strides by using that method. It's really kind of scientific. Well, it's not really, you can't test it in a lab, but like my whole life is better because I know how to apply the law of attraction. It's so real. Like I used to be in corporate America, as I talked to you guys about that, and I'm like hating corporate America, hating my life, not understanding where am I supposed to be. Like this doesn't, like what I'm doing doesn't match my skill set. Like what should I be doing? And I felt myself resisting the corporate life, and I'm like, this is just not for me. But I still got to do it. But then the more I dove into the law of attraction, I'm like, I'm resisting corporate America, but I'm getting more of it. I keep getting job matches that are based on the skills I have, not jobs that I want. And so when I started focusing on what I wanted, man, it opened up Pandora's box because I found myself in Florida. Now I have a YouTube channel. I'm making ad revenue off of this because I shifted my focus. And it's like transformed my entire life. And I'm the happiest I've ever been. And we all reach that in our lives. Like everybody has their own trials and tribulations, hurdles they have to climb. And so the reason why I want to talk about it so much is because I see people struggling the same way that I was. And we live in a world where so many people they feel like they have no power to change their situation. They're focused outward instead of focused inward. Like you're in the driver's seat of your reality. You can change things. And I think that message, even though it tends to fall on deaf ears in the Black community, I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to keep speaking that message because the message is founded in truth. Like it's real. And so I think that if that message can be amplified and shared with so many other people, I think that they're going to reach that same realization and then they can improve their lives, right? Like I talked about how the whole reason I started my YouTube channel is because I felt very inspired. I felt like there was a divine spirit, God, I felt like was talking to me saying, you have this knowledge, you've uncovered these truths. You also see very clearly how that there's manipulation and lies and deception. Now that you're very aware of this and you've been made aware of the truth, I want you to use your voice to inform others. Here's your platform. I'm going to make it profitable for you. This is what you have been wanting. You've prayed about it. You've asked for it. Here it is. Here's my purpose, my plan for you. And I feel like God has used me that way. I don't think that I could be talking about politics, having a YouTube channel, and speaking out in the way that I'm like, look at this flag back here. I never would have thought in a million years that I would be not only into politics and speaking about it, but supporting the most controversial president maybe ever. So when I say that, I was like, this is divine. This is my God-given destiny. This is my purpose, my passion. I feel energized by it. I know that I'm reaching people. I'm inspiring people. And so when I talk about words are spells, what I mean is words are spells. Even though that guy's crazy and some of you guys are like, I can't get down with this. This is just too crazy. Okay, fine, cool. You're not ready to receive the message, but it doesn't change the truth of the fact that what you speak has consequence. Every word that comes out of your body is consequence. And then when I shared the video about the rice experiment, okay? Why did I share the video about the rice experiment? Like, Mike, where are you going with this channel? I told you it's going to be experimental. It's not going to be just every other YouTuber that talks about, Don Lemon said this and Jim Acosta that and LeBron James that. This is for the people. This is for the real woke crowd, okay? When I talk about the rice experiment, why did I share that? Okay, let's talk about why I shared that. There have been studies that show that you can speak over water and change the molecular structure of the water. Like the water molecules will change based on the words you speak to the water. I mean, I didn't make that up. I mean, obviously in the religious community, they believe in that. That's where you get holy water from, okay? rice absorbs water. So when you speak words to rice, you're going to get a reaction of the rice. I'm actually going to do that experiment. I probably at some point I'll do it. When I first learned about it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing this experiment tomorrow. And then I forgot. But I want to actually try the experiment where I measure out some rice, 3 jars, evenly distribute some rice, and I'll put love on one, hate on the other, and ignore on the other. And I'll love one, hate one, and ignore the other for like maybe 3 weeks to a month, and then we'll see what the results are. But I'm willing to bet, based on the theory of the church and the molecular structure of water, when you say certain things over the water, that it's going to change. I'm going to see differences. Well, human beings, we are what, 70% water. Okay. Our bodies are made of water. So the words, the information that you choose to put into your body has a consequence. It has a manifestation. So let's just say my whole message, let's say every Black person in America, let's take out the people who agree with me. So let's take out the positive Blacks. Let's just get the people who are like, man, this is a white man's world. White people are treading on me. I'll never be nothing because white people. This is America. America hates Black people. Let's get all those people in one area and let's amplify my message and give it out to them. If they were to agree with it and somehow internalize it and believe it and take it in, would our world be a better place? Okay. You guys get what I'm saying? Are you guys following me here? The rice experiment, that's what I was trying to say. And when I posted that first video, that was kind of like a prelude into the next phase, which is the law of attraction. There are something like 15, I think 15. Don't quote me on the number, but roughly like 15, 16 laws that govern the universe. And those laws transcend everything: race, sexual orientation, religion, height, weight, hair length, body composition. It transcends everything because it just is. Like the law of inertia, the law of gravity, the law of attraction. Those things do not change. Regardless of what man wants to do, the universal realm, whether you want to call it God, Allah, Buddha, or the universe, transcends all of that. So if people could just get to the point where they're like, you know what? I'm tuning out the world and I'm going to go inside myself and decide what my human existence is going to be. They're going to live a better life. That's a fact. Okay. That's what I mean when I say that stuff. So it goes so much deeper than politics. It goes so much deeper than racial tension and sexism and all these man-made ideas, words, concepts that are put in place to control and manipulate the masses. The world is just full of stimuli and people are responding accordingly. Life is 5% of what happens and 99% or 95% how you respond to it. So if people could just start believing that, they're going to live a better life, which means it raises the vibration of everyone around you. If you're a positive, happy, optimistic person, that's going to rub off on someone as opposed to, well, not as opposed to, I mean, it's going to rub off on people. But if you're a negative, hateful, pessimistic, negative person, it's going to rub off on people too. So which of the two energies do you want to put out into the world every day when you wake up? Does my message suck? Is it a message that people shouldn't hear? You know, is that something where it's like, man, you're crazy, man. We talking about you can make your life better by thinking about it. Okay, would you rather just walk around, spend your 15 minutes on earth hating white people, hating America, thinking you have no power to change it? Or do you think that you were divinely placed on this earth? Think about how many little sperm swim towards an egg. You made it. You were the sperm that fertilized the egg and became a human. Don't waste your time in the physical realm focused on something that another person made up. All these ideas, everything we believe in, all of the stuff in this physical realm was all made up. And I'm not trying to sound like some expert because I'm definitely not an expert. I'm just a guy that's trying to make sense of the world around me. Who could follow me for that? Aren't we all doing that? I just so happen to have a YouTube channel while I'm doing it. So that's what I mean when I say like words or spells. That's where I'm going with it. Is it's just really like focus on what you say. What are you telling yourself every day? What are you telling other people? What are you allowing into your body via music, via the television, via the conversations you hear? Those things matter. So now we got that out of the way. I see that I've got 9 of you guys watching, 7 likes. I need 9 likes, guys. And I need you guys to help me get the followers up, get the subs up. Man, I guess I was just live on Facebook not that long ago. I don't know if you guys follow me on Facebook or not. I'm going to continue to go live on Facebook and YouTube separately because I really do think I have separate, like different following. Like I think my Facebook following is different than my YouTube following. So I don't know if you guys, some of you guys are crossover, maybe not. But for those of you guys that are not, I was just live on Facebook and I just talked about the border wall and the funding and the shutdown and just the shenanigans and the swirl that goes with it all. It's so stupid and so petty. And it begs the question, why do we allow politicians who are just other human beings, no smarter than us, just half-wits, they don't have anything figured out that we don't. Why do we elevate them to statuses of power where they get to govern us and they get to tell us what's best for us? It just makes me so mad when I hear Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer talk about Trump's not getting his wall. It's not happening. I'm like, so these two out of touch career politician millionaires get to decide if illegals come in the country or not because they're the speakers of their respective parties or branches of, not branches of government, but you get what I'm saying, House and Senate. Like, who the hell are they? Do they know we exist? Does Nancy Pelosi know that I exist? Does she care what I think? If I were talking to her, would she actually internalize, be like, you know what? I really care what Mike said. I'm going to give it some thought and I'm going to make decisions and vote based on that. Hell no. They're like, I'm in power. I'm going to maintain this power. What do I need to do to oppose people who are trying to take my power? Donald Trump's in my way. His agenda conflicts with mine, so I'm going to go to battle with Trump. And I'm going to paint him and his followers in a negative light and demonize them because it helps me advance my agenda. See, this erodes any confidence that I had in government, which was already pretty limited, but it erodes it even further because we don't need to be answering to other people who don't know any better than we do, especially when they're taking our money. That's where you talk about slavery right there, because it's our money. You earned every dollar that you make, yet the government takes some of your money without your permission. You don't have a choice. You have to pay taxes. If you don't, they hold a gun to your head and make you pay taxes, or they put you in a cage. That's not freedom. That's not freedom. And so since that is the system, you don't have a choice. At least right now, your only other choice is not work. Shouldn't you have more say so on where your money goes, how your money's spent? Shouldn't you have a big voice on what happens with your money? You don't. And that's what this government shutdown meant to me. That's why I felt so mad. That's why I made that video today. That's why I was so fired up, because it just pisses me off. Ron Abalon said, all right, when will Super Chat be activated? Not anytime soon, not on this channel, because you have to have like, I think it's like 1,000 subs. You have to have 1,000 or 1,500 subs, and then you have to have so many thousand hours of channel or views, watch time, and then you can go through the process of monetization, which takes like a month or so. And then even after that, you have to hit a threshold of like $100 a month. They have all these metrics that they measure you by. And then even after you hit those metrics and hit your target, hit your target, then there's a delay before you get paid. It really sucks. It's petty. It's annoying. But this channel's a long ways away from it. But if you want to donate, man, the best way to donate is through PayPal. PayPal is the best way, because PayPal, I can get that right away. There's no weird YouTube. You're cutting out the middleman. But if you're saying you want super chat to ask me questions, then I don't know. I guess just put it in all caps. St. Andrews 65 said, they really don't want you to make any money. They don't. They really don't. And for my channels to be as small as they are, I mean, this channel is obviously really tiny. My other one is small compared to other YouTubers. They're shadow banning, censoring, limiting my reach. But think about Anthony Brian Logan getting his channel strike. That's like huge. I've been following ABL for like 2 years. And for him to get a channel strike and he can't live stream for 90 days and he doesn't say anything, in my opinion, that's overly controversial. I know he made some videos about Sargon of Akkad, which I don't even know who that person is. And he got some backlash there, but I didn't know he got a channel strike. But that just tells you, Brandon Tatum's got he got one of those too before, a channel strike. That made me think, all right, if it can happen to them and they're not saying anything, they can do it to me. So I set up the second channel. Dina said, Mike, is PayPal better than using Patreon? I mean, I guess it's kind of, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say PayPal is better than using Patreon. And the reason I say that is because PayPal is simple. It's very transparent. It's like someone gives me a PayPal donation. I see the money. It's available to me. Patreon is like a monthly subscription. So like you're contributing, let's say $1 or $5 a month, but I don't see anything on my end. I see like, oh, you have 5 people contributing $5, okay, every month. Okay, so it tells me how many people are contributing every month, how much each of them are contributing, but I don't see like a balance, like a monthly balance or anything like that. I don't know if you can withdraw the funds. I really don't know how Patreon works, honestly. The only reason I set it up is because I heard it was a great way to interact and build a loyal following. And you can provide like exclusive content for them, and they you can, get that monthly subscription style thing. But I tried to make a video. I was going to make a video. I actually made a video exclusive for my patrons, but they don't even let you upload a video. So I don't even know how to work it. It's kind of sad. St. Andrew said, ABL is interesting. Do you know what his favorite thing to say is? But I digress. I know. Maybe that's controversial. Maybe saying I digress is controversial. They don't like it. Someone decided it's hate speech. They saw it as a dog whistle. Just like how they see Trump's, when Trump says Merry Christmas, he's talking to his base. I'm like, who is his base? Oh my God, we're living in 2 different Americas. If they're saying when Trump says Merry Christmas, he's talking to his base, I'm like, you mean American citizens? Is it pretty much if you support Trump, you support America? And if you're not part of his base, you're communist? You're literally communist? Because what else is that supposed to mean? When I hear that they're saying Trump's base wants a wall, I'm like, you mean U.S. citizens want a wall? According to CNN, you're part of Trump's base because you agree with him on a border wall. And when he tweets about a border wall, he's really saying, yeah, to you. I'm like, that's just kind of crazy. Both of my parents want the border wall. Pretty much everyone I've talked to wants a border wall. Even if they don't like Trump, they agree with a border wall. But I guess that's how far and radical we've gone. It's if you disagree with the left, you're part of Trump's base. It's like, wait a minute, I can't be against the left, but on my own here, it's like you're either with us or you're a Trump supporter, and therefore you're this, and this. Got some weirdos, man, on the left. Island Style said, okay, so would join a platform that has absolute free speech and a good platform to make money. Would you join? Yeah, I would, but I don't. There's so many other platforms out there, like, and I hear the only reason I talk about them is because I hear other YouTubers talk about them. I've heard YouTubers talk about Discord, set up a Discord server. I've heard about Steemit and BitChute. And then there's the Cash App, there's PayPal, there's Patreon, there's Venmo. I'm like, I don't want to have to manage like 12 accounts. So ideally, if I could wave a magic wand, YouTube wouldn't be some gigantic censorship machine. They would just be, they wouldn't promote authoritative news sources, and it would just be easier to navigate. I don't want to have to set up a BitChute and a Steemit when most people are still using YouTube. I want to be where the audience is. I'm not there yet where I'm trying to pull people over to some other platform because it's just limiting my reach. Dina said Jimmy Kimmel called those who are donating to GoFundMe wall a bunch of meth heads. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel's an asshole. So he's also he's just part of Hollywood, you know. The people who follow him are so brainwashed as it is. He's preaching to the choir. You know, conservatives aren't turning on the TV. They're not watching Jimmy Kimmel. People who are pro-America, people who care about this country, they've tuned out Hollywood. We're polarized that far. I don't see that as a problem. There's not people who are like, Jimmy Kimmel has shamed me into being a leftist now. That's not even a thing. Joey said he agrees with taking troops out of Syria. I agree too, wholeheartedly. How is it that we're spending more time, more money, more energy protecting the sovereignty and borders of other countries, but not our own? Trump proves day in and day out that he is America first, that he is literally putting this country's interests first. It's not in his words, it's in his actions. Bringing home troops from Syria, bringing home troops from Afghanistan is long overdue. It's time for them to govern their own affairs. I love that he said, okay, if you're waiting for if you're trying to seek asylum, you get to wait in Mexico while you're seeking asylum. You're not going to wait here. And I got to look into this, but I'm wondering if that's part of the USMCA, where Mexico agrees to house the asylum seekers until their claims have been processed. Because before, they were allowed entry into the country while they were waiting for their asylum claim to be processed. So they are literally on our soil, in our facilities, drinking our water, eating food, shelter, whatever. When in reality, they shouldn't be collecting any, they should not be granted any of that until their claim has been processed. That's like, hey, I know you're in line to get in Disney World. Here's this little fun roller coaster while we wait to see if you can actually go and enjoy the rest of Disney World. It's like, no, until we see your ticket, until we see your money and see your ID, you stand your ass in line on the other side of the gate. And once we process you, then you can come into Disney World. That's how it works. And the way that the left wants it is, so what? They worked all that way to scale the fence and get into Disney World. Let's let them enjoy the rides. Meanwhile, there's people in line who paid money, have their kids screaming in their ear, like, I want to go to Disney World. I want to go to Disney World. They're trying to do it the right way. But the left, because their hearts bleed, oh my God, we got to let everyone in. We should just let the world in our country. They're talking about, yeah, they scaled the wall. We should just let them in and pay for everything and just let them be here. Have a heart, you bigot. See, that's that bullshit, guys. Stuck in Time said meth heads don't have money. You guys are hilarious. They don't. Or do they? I don't know. Man, Trump has done so much this year in 2018. I just can't even keep up with it. I almost want to make like a chronological just timeline of every accomplishment that Trump has achieved. Every single accomplishment of this president, from the tax cuts to the North Korean summit to prison reform to making Jerusalem the capital of the U.S. embassy, moving it to Jerusalem, to Space Force, to record low unemployment, Black businesses up 400%, like everything. You just like lose track. You lose count of everything Trump has done. It's just crazy. This is literally the best president I've ever seen in my life. I don't know that I'll see a better one in my lifetime, but I can't call him the best president ever. And you guys know why. There's 2 presidents better than him. 2 presidents. I'm going to say this, okay? I'm going to put this out there. There are 2 presidents in the history of this country, obviously before a lot of us were born, 2 presidents that I would say were better than President Trump. Put in the chat right now who those presidents were. Tell me, I'm curious. Who are the 2 presidents that are better than Trump? He's the best of our lifetime, but who are the best? Let's see. Let's see who gets it right. St. Andrew 65, how about we set up a GoFundMe page for Mike? I mean, you guys can. You definitely could, because the thing is, like, I'll use those funds for travel, for Trump rallies, for live streams, for equipment, for pretty much equipment. Maybe I'd use it for what is it called? Adobe, Microsoft, something where I can do video editing. I guess it's Adobe video editing, because I would like to get to that. You know how like Amazing Lucas has an intro, ABL has an intro. Some other channels, they have like features they can use where they can live stream and then share their page or share their screen and do a bunch of stuff. I would like to be able to do that. And I'm sure I can do it now. I just haven't sat down and taken the time to do it. You guys are right. You're right. George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, those are the 2 presidents I was thinking of. See, guys, we're in sync. We're in sync. You guys get it. LBJ said, Alex, get the fuck out of here, Alex. You're crazy. Alex said LBJ is one of the best presidents of all time. Oh, man. He's one of the greatest red pill presidents. If you look back on what LBJ said, and you're Black, and you're hearing what he said for the first time, you are red-pilled as shit. Joey said Nixon got the U.S. out of Vietnam. Sure, I guess so. It was before my time, but I know the first thing that Richard Nixon passed was affirmative action. And this is the same Richard Nixon who they said was courting the Southern Democrats, the Dixiecrats, because he wanted them to flip and become Republican, you know, that whole Southern strategy thing. So how is it that Richard Nixon was going to court the Southern Democrats, but then as soon as he was elected, he passed affirmative action, which effectively put the Black man in front of the white man in the workplace? Would that make those Southern racists happy? Probably not. LBJ was a gangster. He said he'll have those N-words voting Democrat for 200 years. He was right. How many years has it been? It hasn't been. No, he's not right. No, we're going to prove him wrong. It hasn't even been 100 years. But damn it, we're going to prove his ass wrong. I know that much. Goat Gal 7 said, hope you all check out Sphere Within Sphere. You guys hear my dog growling? Sphere Within Sphere. There are a few YouTube videos. Better to Google it. Proves the NWO and the destruction of Christianity. JV1JV says, oh my God, I watch you all the time. You are so great. Have all your YouTube friends tell their people to follow you. I can't stress it enough. You guys got to get more people to like and follow and subscribe to this channel. Do it right now. I'm challenging you. Every single one of you, get 10 people each to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification so you get notified when I go live. Everybody needs to get 10 people to subscribe to this channel. I was going to say something else and I totally lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? We're talking about LBJ and how he still have those niggers voting Democrat for 200 years. And his he signed the Civil Rights Act of 1965. And he said he called it the nigger bill, something like that. But dude was crazy. Margaret Sanger, all of the things in the past, they just don't line up. They just don't. It doesn't make any sense how anyone could still vote Democrat. But hey, blue no matter who. St. Andrews, 65. Unfortunately, most of my connections are snowflakes. I mean, it kind of is what it is. Just because they're snowflakes doesn't mean you can't melt them. You know, snowflakes were meant to be melted. So I would still say confront them with that information. You know, set some landmines of cognitive dissonance for them. Remind them of all their contradictory points of view. Remind them that they, who's a good example of someone who contradicts everything? Linda Sarsour, okay? Linda Sarsour is pro-Sharia law, which gives women no rights, doesn't respect women at all, but then she also gets to claim the moral high ground of feminism. How does that work? You know, liberals, the gun grabbers, the people who talk about guns, like, oh my God, guns are evil. They say if you shoot a dog with a gun, you're evil. But if you shoot a person with a gun, then guns are evil. That's liberal logic right there. If you went and said, hey, I just killed a bunch of chipmunks with a gun, it'd be like, you're a terrible person. You say, hey, I just killed a bunch of people. They're like, ban guns. Guns got to be gone. We got to ban them. Ban bump stocks. See, that's what I mean. That flawed logic. It's a failed ideology, but they keep going with it. They're just like either they're stubbornly going along with it, knowing it's flawed because pride won't let them go the other way, or they believe in it and they just don't see their flawed logic. It's so crazy. It's so hilarious too. It's like, we support this female child mutilation, or you don't get to criticize them for that, but then you criticize Christians for being pro-life. It's like, what? It's ridiculous, man. Hi, Mike Nivison said Angie Mack. What's up, Angie Mack? Can you give me a like if you just tuned in? Sorry, if you just tuned in, give the video a like. Please give the live stream a like, guys. Ron Avalon said exploded bomb, blame the bomber. Shots fired, blame the gun. That's another great example too. Yep. If someone gets in a car accident, you don't be like, hey, you see that truck just run that red light? You'd be like, that person ran a red light and hit someone. They don't, these things don't click for them on the left. It doesn't click. That sound you guys are hearing is my dog is dehydrated, I guess. He's drinking so much water. Have you guys ever seen my dog? If you haven't, I'm gonna show him to you in a second. So let's go through some news stories. One of you guys back in like, I want to say September, maybe, you told me about this DML news, and I downloaded the app, and they give me a whole bunch of notifications, and they have pop-ups galore on their app, but they do report on a lot of news stories that the mainstream just doesn't touch. So I got it pulled up here. I'm just gonna read a couple of them, and let's see what they say or what they're covering today. Update. Okay, here's one. I bet you guys haven't heard of this story today. It says, the headline reads, referee barred from officiating after forcing high school wrestler to cut dreadlocks or forfeit match. Trigger warning or nah? Let me see what I can read from this, okay? A referee who forced a student athlete to cut his dreadlocks or forfeit a high school wrestling match in New Jersey earlier this week has since reportedly been barred from officiating any more matches. NBC News reported Friday, citing school district officials, that the referee would be barred from further officiating matches. Okay, they're just kind of repeating what they said before. Is that the end of the article? Really? That's it? That's a lame duck article. That's lame. There was no more information on that. I'm like, what happened? Like, what did the students say? That's so lame. The article goes on to state the following. Okay, here we go. I found the rest of it. The news comes after a video was posted to social media on Thursday showing a Buena High School student getting his dreadlocks cut before a match after the referee reportedly wouldn't allow the student to wrestle by covering his hair. So before we go any further, you guys, if you're woke, you know that it's strategic the way that it's being reported, the way they're talking about a student having to cut his dreadlocks. So automatically they want you to think about race, because who overwhelmingly has dreadlocks? If you're white and you have dreadlocks, you're cultural appropriating, white supremacists, whatever. But most people who have dreadlocks are black. So off top, they want you to think about race. They're telling you without telling you. And then, because they could have just easily said, oh yeah, student had to cut his hair. Okay. I'm willing to bet that if you're not a race baiter, you're going to think like, okay, I'm sure there's a logical explanation for this. It wasn't some racist referee saying, you better cut your dreadlocks, nigger. You can't wrestle with them dreads. That's probably not the case. I bet you if it was one of those hairband type people with a mullet or something, they would make them cut their hair too. If Anomaly was a wrestler, I'm pretty sure it'd be like, hey, you got to cut your hair. But I could be wrong. I don't know. So that's an example of picking apart an article and thinking about it critically as you go through. So let's see what else they say in the article. I think that's it. What? I need a conclusion. The news. Yeah, that's it. Okay. A referee wouldn't allow Andrew Johnson of Buena Vista to wrestle with his. So we don't know if the student's black or not. Okay, it's a black student. Okay, you guys see that? Can you guys see that? He's cutting his dreads. And I mean, it looks like he won. So that sounds like a nothing burger to me. It sounds like they're just trying to stir up something, trying to create something that isn't there. So let's move along. Journalist who mocked Trump supporters in fabricated story admits I'm sick. What? FDA issues warning regarding medication for body's main artery. Music to Putin's ears. Baltic nations limit Trump's tepid responses to Russian aggression. See, these aren't good today, guys. I'm used to having juicier headlines where I'm like, damn, I should make a video about that. But then I get home from work and I'm like, I'm tired. I'm not going to make a video. I'm not getting that today now that I'm actually trying to go through it and look for something. Let's see. Man, there's really nothing in here. There's nothing that's overly controversial. They had a bunch of stuff on here a couple of days ago. Here's something. Let's just put down the news stories and I'll just pull them from my brain. What do you guys, and we're going to go back down that rabbit hole a little bit. Joey said I'm Alex Jones Jr., which I'm still waiting for you to tell me if that's a compliment or not, or an insult. What do you guys know about aluminum? Do you know that aluminum is what some say is being sprayed into our atmosphere via chemtrails? Now, aluminum, if you've ever accidentally or on purpose, if you're me, on purpose, put aluminum in the microwave and saw what happened. Not good things. But with this whole direct energy weapons, it will activate and ignite when it touches aluminum. So they're putting aluminum in our atmosphere. Aluminum can get into our bodies. Aluminum is linked to Alzheimer's, autism, and ADD or ADHD. None of those things existed, I believe, before like World War I. Nobody had Alzheimer's or autism or ADHD, but they have it now. So aluminum is linked to death and mental disorders and different things that are not good for the body. Yet aluminum's in our atmosphere. Aluminum is on our food. How many of you have something in your fridge right now that's got aluminum wrapped on it? Aluminum is not good for the human body. And with humans like having so much interaction with aluminum cans, aluminum foil, aluminum's everywhere. It's in deodorant. It's seeping into our body. And with direct energy weapons and Agenda 21, I'm just going to say it, like they're trying to depopulate the world. So that's a great way to do it probably, right? Did you guys ever look into direct energy weapons? We talked about it on my first live stream, my first ever one from like 3 weeks ago, where I talked about how they had drone footage flying over the California wildfires, like the aftermath of those wildfires. You would see perfect squares, like the foundation of where the house was. You would see perfect square of destruction, but the trees surrounding it were still standing, not burnt, not singed, not anything. And it just so happened to be in that area of California that's super rural, like national parks, heavily forested. A part of Agenda 21 is taking the land and having ownership over the land and forcing people that are in rural areas into urban inner city areas, getting people in concentrated cities. It just seems like there's too much of a coincidence there to just write it off. So that's kind of crazy, but there's some more truth that I've uncovered and I got to look into it more. And if you guys want to treat yourself to some like crazy stuff that will really have your brain just open, go to my channel, the main channel, under my playlist, and I have two I have two folders or playlists that are titled The Rabbit Hole and Truth Bombs. Go open either one of those folders or those playlists and watch those videos. Go into the rabbit hole actually, and I've got some crazy videos in there that have informed me. And I think if you guys see any of those videos, you'll be like, damn, that's where Mike gets all this info from. That's why he thinks that way. So let's see. I got one of them open right now. So there's one about mind control and through the television. There's one about Jordan Peterson talking about like censorship and freedom of speech. That's a good one. There's one about what Orwellian means. There's one about, I got some QAnon stuff in there, but that's just because when I first learned about QAnon, I was kind of fascinated, but I'm not really into the Q thing. Which other ones could I recommend for you guys in there? The Illusion of the American Dream, Stefan Molyneux's Story of Your Enslavement, The Secret Society You've Never Heard of. Reagan Warned Us About Obama. That's a great one. How to Control What People Do. That's a great one. The Age of Deceit. That's like a documentary. It's almost 3 hours long. But I'm serious. You guys go to my main channel, go to my playlist, and go to the rabbit hole and watch those videos in there. Watch any of them. They're going to blow your mind. The Privacy List, Freedom List, Smart City of 2030. That's a good one. Understanding the UN Population Migration Agenda. Really good stuff, guys. Really good stuff. You'll have to check it out. And then some random one in there. I got to take that out. I don't know how that got in there. I'm going to remove it before you guys see it because you might judge me. It shouldn't have been in there. But yeah, 14 people watching, 14 likes. Thank you. Thank you. Now, what questions do you guys have for me before I wrap it up? Because it's already been almost an hour, guys. You've had almost an hour with me. And this, but let me go on record and say this is the longest consecutive live stream, me just talking for hours that I've ever done, because I was just on Facebook for almost 2 hours, and now I've been with you guys for an hour already. I'm going to sleep after this, guys. I can't keep this up. It's making me crazy. But I really enjoy interacting with you guys and reading your chat. You guys are crazy in the chat. It's nice having less people for a change, just because if it's like on my main channel, I'll have like 40, 50 people watching. The chat just goes so quick, but this one I can actually read what you guys are saying. Dina said, has anyone heard about the 2 girls who were beheaded in Morocco by Muslims? No, I have not. When was that? That's crazy. I'm going to look that up, though. Let me see what I can find. I'm on Google right now from the phone. Scandinavian? No. Wait a minute. Morocco vigils for murdered Scandinavian tourists. Is that what you're talking about, Dina? I'm going to look at the article. It's from the BBC. Hundreds of Moroccans have attended a vigil in the capital for 2 Scandinavian tourists found murdered in the Atlas Mountains on Monday. Wow. On Friday, Norwegian police said a video appearing to show one of the tourists being beheaded was likely to be real. 4 suspects ages 25 to 33 have been arrested. They pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group in a video made last week, police said. In the video, they said the murders were revenge for students for events in Syria. 9 more arrests were made on Thursday and Friday for suspects linked to the perpetrators, Moroccan officials said. Man, hundreds more people attended a vigil in southern village of Ihmil. I can't pronounce that. Near where the women's bodies were found, and flowers were also laid in the city of Marrakesh. Who are the victims? Miss Jespersen, who was 24 from Denmark, and 28-year-old Norwegian, I can't pronounce her last name, had been studying outdoor activities at the University of Southeastern Norway. So wait a minute, hold on. Does this happen in Norway or Morocco? They arrived on a month-long holiday in Morocco on December 9th and had traveled to the foothills of Mount Tob. I can't pronounce these words, guys. North Africa's highest peak. The bodies were found in their tent. Both women had taken full precautions ahead of their trip. Well, apparently not. Damn. Wow. I don't know what to make of that. I mean, obviously my initial reaction is that's hella sad. Like, what? Like, it sounds like it was an unprovoked attack. It sounded like these were just two students that were in Morocco. They were up in the mountains. They're just hanging out. They were obviously camping. They had tents, but then they get their heads cut off, and the perpetrators pledged allegiance to Islam. Let me first go back to the top. This is part of my investigative research here. It's a BBC article. In the article, it said that they pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group in a video. Okay, I was going to say, how do we know that they pledged allegiance to Islam unless there's evidence? Because otherwise it would be propagandist to be like, read that and then you just take it for truth. But they pledged allegiance in a video. Police said. They said the videos were revenge for events in Syria. But what do these two girls have to do with anything in Syria? It just doesn't make any sense. If they're, I don't know. It's pretty crazy, man. But I mean, again, you can't criticize Islam or you're an Islamophobe. That's how the left controls the narrative. They control everything. It's not even that we're letting them control it. It's just simply that they control it. The left controls Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, any platform where you could criticize Islam to a crowd is censored. They'll shut you down. This is why I have Magnificent Uncut, for reasons like this. This is why, because I need to be able to speak about it and not have my revenue impacted and not have my whole platform taken away. They'll deplatform you if you criticize a Fabergé egg, Islam. You can't do it. Just like if you're white, you can't criticize Obama. You can't be critical of Obama's presidency because if you're white and you do it, you're racist. There's no other explanation for it. Same thing with Islam. So, but I'm still going to say something about it. I'm like, we got to talk about radical Islamic terror. That sounds like terrorism to me. That's horrible. Beheading girls and then making videos about it. Like, I mean, I know Christians don't have the best history and the Christian Crusades happened, but are Christians going around the world, like actual Christians going around saying, Jesus said, kill you? No, they're not doing that. You know, if they're radical Christians, they get called out. But Muslim, like in the Islamic world, you don't hear them really denouncing it. Any Muslim with a platform that I'm aware of, they're not denouncing it. And I know they know what's happening, but they're not denouncing it. Do you think Linda Sarsour is going to make a video about it? Do you think Linda Sarsour is going to interview? Do you think she's going to say anything about it? No. Crazy. Thanks for sharing that, Dina. I had no idea. That's insane, man. It's sad, too. It's so sad. GoGal7 said, I get a lot of my news from Drudge Report and Breitbart News, and I love this channel to talk to friends. That's great. Breitbart, I like Breitbart, but for some reason I'm a little skeptical of Breitbart because I feel like I don't know. I'm just a little skeptical of Breitbart and of Fox News, quite honestly. I get a lot of my news from One America News, the Next News Network. I also like Daily Wire. For mainstream, I kind of like Washington Examiner a little bit. LA Times, they're a little more conservative. Chicago Tribune, they're at least more centrist. They're not just as far left as you can go, and then Trump hatred for everything else. They're a little bit more centered. Town Hall is another decent one. St. Andrew 65 said, Mike, are your live shows spontaneous or do you plan ahead of time? If they're planned ahead of time, then maybe you can send out a reminder of what time it will be. They're spontaneous, which is why I tell you guys, if you're going to subscribe, you need to hit the notification because the notification will let you know. It'll interrupt you and say, hey, look, Mike is live right now. And if you can tune in, cool. If you can't, you can't. But I would say in general, I will live stream at night. And since I started this channel, quite honestly, Saturdays have been the best day for me to go live, Saturday night. So I might just kind of stick with it, although I'm not going to stamp it as like official. All right, I go live on Saturday night. You never know. I might want to go live on Tuesday night. But you can just plan for evenings for me to go live. I don't have such a set schedule to where I can live stream this time, that time. I would love to get there like how Anthony Brian Logan does his live streams Wednesdays, Saturdays. Yep. I do have a dog. Sherry, I have a dog. I said I was going to show you him too. Nino, come here. Come here. He's under the desk right now. Nino, come here. Come here, buddy. Come on this side. He might knock this lamp down. He's a big dog. He's a big dog. I'm going to show you guys. Come here, Nino. Come here, buddy. Here he is. He's a Belgian Malinois, 7 years old. He will run up on you. Nino, look at the camera. That's my boy. That's my boy. Look at him, though. He's a beast. Imagine him running up on you. Imagine trying to break into my house and you have to see this beast of a dog. Doesn't he look good? That's my boy. His name's Nino, Nino. Like New Jack City, Nino Brown. Fotini D. What up? Oh, I got it. Oh, Fotini. Okay, I got something to say to you. You remember when I posted that video about the words or spells, and I already covered this earlier, so you're gonna have to rewatch it if you want to hear what I said. But you said pass the crack pipe or something like that. You were pretty much closed off to that. And I was expecting a different reaction to you. I was expecting something different because it wasn't there to say like, hey, this is gospel. You should definitely internalize all of this. That was more like open your mind to something different that you haven't heard before and let's have a conversation. That's all it was. It was just a thought generator. But I was just kind of taken aback by your response. That's all. That's pretty much it. That's all I had to say. You're my cup of tea tonight. I'm glad that you approve of what I'm saying tonight. Thank you. Thanks. Sherry says you have a golden retriever named Coconut, and she is awesome. Sweet. Golden retrievers, they're so smart. They're just smart dogs. I'm very fond of dogs that are intelligent. I see so many dogs that are just stupid. They're cute. They're lovely. I love dogs, but not all dogs are created equal. There's a variance of intelligence. There's definitely a spectrum. My dog's on the higher end, and I'm not just biasly saying that. Like that dog that breed of dog is used for military and law enforcement work. They can sniff out drugs, they can chase criminals. They are ridiculously intelligent. But then you have dumb dogs that chase their tail, bark at the wind, and they're just they're annoying. So, but there's a handful of breeds that are more intelligent than the rest, and you can tell because they're used for rescue work and a whole bunch of stuff. So golden retrievers, German shepherds, all the hunting dogs, obviously, like bloodhounds and stuff. Saint Bernards are super smart. Dalmatians are smart. But I love dogs, man. Great protection too. Joey, you got 4 months. What state do you live in anyway? Joey, are you in Texas or I think you're in Texas? Ron asked, do you check out Prager University? I do, I do check out Prager University. I like Will Witt. I met Will Witt when I was in DC. Super cool guy. He's from Colorado too. We talked about collaborating. He was so drunk at the walk away gala. He didn't remember me the next day, but then I was like, hey, remember I'm that guy from Colorado. And then he remembered me, but I don't think he remembered our conversation. I do like PragerU. I mean, they don't post a whole lot of stuff. Okay, hold on. Chats are coming in quick. Let's see. Fortini, Mike, I felt so guilty. I was frustrated that night because I was so sick of hearing about Q and all the conspiracy theories, but I definitely keep an open mind. I addressed Q. I think I did that in my Facebook live stream. I am officially not on board with QAnon. I get it's a whole bunch of cryptic message, but I'm starting not to trust it. I feel like they might just be trolling because they've said a couple of different times, like, everything Trump's doing is just an elaborate plan to take down the deep state. I'm like, no. And I've heard them say, or people who decode Q messages, like there's a lot of YouTube channels that are dedicated to decoding QAnon messages. And they'll say stuff like, Hillary's going to be in cuffs by the end of the month. I see this coming. There's a lot going on. The deep state is starting to panic. Obama and Hillary, they're shaking. Hillary got her passport suspended. I'm like, oh, she didn't. She's one of the most powerful people in the world. You know how I know that? Because she's not in prison. If you could commit the crimes that the Clintons have committed, you can rape people and countries, and you're not in prison for it. That means you are above the law. Whether you should be or not has no relevance. You're above the law. Hillary Clinton is above the law until she's in handcuffs. That's just the way it is. So I'm not going to trust some QAnon post and get super excited about it. And then also the way the QAnon talks about how, the military is the one that told Trump to run for president and, we're going to restore the power to the good guys. But it's like, I don't believe there are good guys in government. The left-right paradigm is falsified to keep us at each other's throats. If all this stuff is so secretive, this deep state takedown, why are you posting it on the internet? So the more I thought about the QAnon thing, the more I'm like, I'm not on board with it. I don't buy it. I want them to be right. I would love it if everything Q said was factual, like Hillary Clinton and all of them will be arrested by the end of 2018. Well, it's now December 23rd, so you got 8 days to go, right? Something like that. So we'll see. I doubt it. I think Hillary Clinton's going to die a free woman, but she'll get her prison sentence. It'll just be long term. Angie Max said, I used to be a lefty back in the day. I think a lot of people have. A lot of people did used to be lefties back in the day. I think a lot of people from the Walk Away campaign were at one point Democrat or they were liberal. I don't think anybody from the Walk Away campaign or anybody that's really on YouTube was like a lifelong conservative. Even ABL talked about how he used to be a liberal. He used to debate conservatives and stuff. And Brandon Tate, like at least in the Black community, a lot of us never really claimed to be liberal or conservative. We just knew that voting Democrat was the way to go. So I guess by default, you're a liberal then. So I think there's a lot of people like that. Yeah, Mike. And not only that, but majority of people who follow Q are way too extreme. They are the same group who believe that planes never hit the towers. So planes definitely hit the towers. 9/11 definitely happened. But the official story of 9/11 is something you might want to open your mind to. I mean, the information is out there. Ignorance is a choice nowadays, but you need to do your research if you think that if you believe the official story of 9/11. But yeah, QAnon people, they're crazy. I'm not about to get a where we go one, we go all t-shirt. Like, I've never seen this guy. I'm a truth seeker. And if I can't see who they are, and if I don't know what their real agenda is, if I can't get a feel for that person, I'm not going to be, that's where I get closed-minded. If I don't have all the information, then I'm just going to kind of, and they obviously have a vested interest in keeping Q shielded. Like you're never going to see a picture of who Q is. That makes me think we might be getting trolled. Joey's more like a libertarian. I would say I'm libertarian more than anything if you had to put me in a box, because libertarians are the most pro-Constitution. Think about what libertarians believe in. Personal rights, like individual rights, property rights, the non-aggression principle, like everything should be voluntary. And there's a lot of common sense in libertarianism. When they talk about individual rights, that covers a child in the womb. A child in the womb has individual rights because it is scientifically a person. Therefore, that child has inalienable rights to be born. Even though that child is living in another person, that's just a technicality. I mean, it's still a person. And it's a person that needs to be defended because it doesn't have a choice on how it got there and if it gets to be born or not. So it just seems like the right thing for the child to be born, albeit unless there's some crazy reason why it can't, like the mother's going to die or something. I don't know. There's obviously reasons and there's scenarios where the child shouldn't be born, but like libertarians, for the most part, they legitimately believe in live and let live. It just makes sense to me. Let me see. Dina said, I've been a conservative longer than I even realized. It aligns with my beliefs and values. Yeah, I same thing. I never thought of myself as conservative or liberal. I just knew that they're Democrat, like growing up, right? Like Democrats and Republicans are the two political parties. And I don't know much about either. I've been told Democrats are for the people. They love black people, and Republicans hate black people, and Republicans are for the wealthy and they hate poor people, and Democrats love poor people. I always saw myself as like, I don't know, I don't want to pick a side, so I'm in the middle. And I never realized until I learned about conservative values that I share conservative values. I believe in individual responsibility. Make your life better. No, it's no one else's responsibility to make your life better. It's up to you. I've always believed that. My parents instilled certain values in me, like hard work. You don't work, you don't eat. You have to make something of yourself. Like nothing's going to be given to you. The world doesn't owe you anything. You can't expect to be a millionaire without putting in the hard work. If you want something, it's yours for the taking. Those are conservative values. Those literally are. And a lot of us find that out when we get older. And we're like, wait, that's what conservatives believe? So I've been a lifelong conservative. I just didn't know it. And I just don't, I don't believe in equal outcomes. I don't believe there's any such thing as equal outcomes. There never will be. Not in the plant world, not in the animal kingdom, not in the human race. You will never have equal outcomes because individuals have different levels of ambition and talents and skills. Activist Granny said Obama made me a Republican. Yeah, but you swung to the other side. How about, would you be a Republican without Obama? That's what I mean. Are you a Republican literally because of Obama? Because I'm not happy with Republicans. I don't ever want to be identified as a Republican because the Republican Party sucks. The Republican values and Republican beliefs, like what the party stood for historically, I'm on board with that. Most of it. But if you're talking about Republicans today and the Republicans that are in office, they're Republican in name only, aka Rhino. They suck. They're just controlled opposition to the Democrats. Both parties suck. The two-party system is a sham. I can't overstate that. You said in California you have to declare a party to vote in the primaries? I mean, California is corrupt. We know that. They're crazy out there. And they ballot harvest. I mean, it's kind of a lost cause. I feel like California is kind of a waste. California, I don't think will ever be Republican again. I mean, it's just kind of, it seems like the truth. I mean, how can a state that's already so blue have a blue wave? So they like triple down on their leftist ideology. They're also the most like social, how do I word it? In terms of socialism, California is the most socialist you can get while living in the United States. Chicago's not far behind them. Same with New York. Same with Minnesota, Seattle, Portland. These are playgrounds for leftists. I mean, California is like a petri dish for all things socialism. I mean, they've experimented with socialized medicine, universal basic income, open borders, letting illegals vote, run for office. They want to tax your text messages. They have the highest gas tax, highest property tax, highest sales tax, highest income tax. And oh, by the way, they're a sanctuary state. And oh, by the way, they have all these NGOs trying to coddle the drug epidemic out there. Like, hey, we'll just get you some needles. You can shoot up on the street with these clean needles. What the hell? Or let's build facilities so people can shoot up in a nice, safe, warm environment. And it's taxpayer funded. They're just crazy. And they're just too radically progressive. That's where that Baby It's Cold Outside first got hated on, San Francisco. Of California, San Francisco is definitely the worst. I do know that there are pockets of conservative counties in California. But when you think about California, the first cities that come to mind are LA and San Francisco. They're two leftist cities. San Francisco being much further left than LA. But man, Mike, I'm not sure if you mentioned this topic already, but I would love to know your thoughts on Trump pulling troops out of Syria. I did cover it. I just don't remember if I covered it in this live stream. I'll just tell you quickly. I love that Trump pulled troops out of Syria because you know what? We've been over there long enough. We defeated ISIS. And even if we didn't, they have military over there. They can defeat ISIS further. We need our troops to come home. So ask yourself this, Fotini, like, if you had a loved one that was stationed in Syria, would you want them to stay there or come home? There's your answer. I don't have any loved ones or friends or family over in Syria, but I want our U.S. troops to come home. I want our troops here. I don't want war. You know, I don't believe that we should be interfering and meddling in other countries' affairs, because what that does is divert attention and resources away from our country, which we need to have people here. You know, we have a border to secure here. Why are we over there trying to police other countries? We're not the police of the world. This is another reason why Trump is the best president to ever happen to this country, outside of Lincoln and Washington, because Trump is literally putting the country first. He's like, I don't want to police the world. It's not our job to police the world. Let other countries govern how they see fit. And if they're governing wrong, let their citizens let the citizens over there have a natural revolution and overtake it. But we can't just be over there 24/7. He's not a warmonger, which is why, again, the deep state, the establishment of politicians, Hollywood elites, celebrities, everyone hates Trump because he goes against that current. Everyone's like, you should hate Trump, but it's like no one stops to see, like, why does everyone hate Trump? Let me dig into why everyone hates him, because then those same people say Trump's just a part of them. I'm like, really? He's a part of them, but they all hate him? You know, all the politicians and presidents before, almost every single one of them got us into some kind of war, sent troops overseas, did some bombings. Trump has not gotten us in any war at all. In fact, he's been more pro-peace, going back to what I said in the very beginning about being anti-war versus pro-peace. Trump is pro-peace. That's why he was talking to Kim Jong-un about, he's like, hey, peace through strength. If you want to threaten us with nukes and do all these ICBM tests and all this, okay, well, you got to understand who you're messing with. We're the biggest dog in the yard, the United States. You don't want to mess with us. We have the strongest military in the world. But we would prefer if you'd work with us and collaborate, and maybe we can, you know, find peace that way. So I'm all for bringing troops home from Syria and Afghanistan. Let's see. Angie Mac, I think the deep state is deeper than people think. This is so evil. What is going on? I mean, we're just scratching the surface. It's on so many levels that you can't even begin to wrap your head around it. That's why I'm so happy you guys are subscribed to this channel, because this channel is going to be focused on that. It's not just in politics, okay? When you think of deep state, I want you to think about it more broadly. Think about who's at the top of every industry. Who's at the top of the medical industry? Who's at the top of pharmaceuticals? You guys know about Big Pharma. What about the food industry? Why are they putting chemicals in our food? Ask yourself these questions. The deep state exists all around us. Who's in charge of this climate change agenda? It's the EU, not the EU, the UN. The UN's in charge of it, but who's at the top of them? Who's pulling the strings? Why do they want to block out the sun? Chemtrails. They finally acknowledge that chemtrails are real. They're like, the best way to fix climate change is to put chemicals into the atmosphere and block out the sun. But the chemicals they're putting in the atmosphere have aluminum in them. What did I say about aluminum? Aluminum is linked to things that cause death, and it's not good, obviously, to put aluminum in your body. I don't need to tell you why. It's not meant to go in your body. But that's what's in chemtrails, chemicals. Think about the people that are flying across the world trying to preach about climate change, but they have a private jet. You know, you got to think about like the higher ups, the elites, the people who are in the shadowy place, the shadow government, if you will. Joey's about to call me a conspiracy theorist, I know, but like there's something to be said about the conspiracy. It's too easy to write everyone off as crazy just because you don't understand it. It's way too dismissive to call somebody crazy. Maybe, just maybe, they have some information that you don't have. And, you know, the conspiracy theorists, Alex Jones used to get called a conspiracy theorist a lot. But now Alex Jones, I mean, a lot of what he said has come to fruition. A lot of what is it that he exposed? The Bilderberg Group. The Bilderberg Group was, when he first talked about that, they denied that it exists. But because he did such great like journalistic work in exposing them, now they acknowledge the Bilderberg exists. The Bilderberg Group happens every year, and they treat it like a corporate annual meeting. Like, here's the sales goal from last year. Here's what we're going to hit next year. That's how they run the world. They want to run the world like a business, and all the higher ups get together. And now they let the media go in. Yep, Alex Jones' platform is down now because the truth is out. The truth is out. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to give you guys some channels that I want you to subscribe to. Like literally right now, while you're watching this, you can still be watching it while searching other channels. I'm going to give you the list of some channels that I subscribe to get my information that's not political. It's not totally political. They'll connect it to politics, but a lot of it is just they're truthers. So hold on. And you can also see this list on my channel too. So channels I'm subscribed to that you guys might want to check out: Hacking the Headlines. Let's see. A Call for an Uprising, Truth Unveiled, Gematria Effect News. That's if you want to know about, and this guy, if you guys know what Gematria is, it's like language and words decoded into numbers and rituals. Like he talks about, yeah, what does he talk about? He talks about how, like, okay, today is December 23rd, right? 2018. He would talk about the meaning of those in like 12/23/18, what that translates to words wise, and certain rituals and things that happen. So if you guys don't know about it, some people have predicted Super Bowl winners and World Series winners and certain false flag attacks based on this decoded language, Gematria. And it's a universal language. Like numbers is a universal language. So that's what that channel is about. The Dollar Vigilante. His name's Jeff Berwick. He's got a super thick Canadian accent, but he talks about how he talks about the central banking system, how it's all going to crumble, and how we're all being lied to. He talks about the tail lie vision, how he actually, a lot of these truther channels, what you guys are going to find out, if you're not already subscribed to them, you're going to find out that a lot of them don't support Trump. They actually think Trump is a part of it, and he's just part of the lie. I'm not there yet with it because there's so many people that hate Trump. So there would have to be a lot of like acting for Trump to be a part of it, but then everyone hates him. It just doesn't make sense to me. But he talks about that. RFG, the chosen one. This guy's crazy. So let's see. I'm going to read you some titles from his videos. Talks about Lord Buddha, the Dharma, the light python, or the light photon, Megatron's cube, untold truth of the serpent in the Garden of Eden, Book of Revelation, the Zionist psyop, like just crazy stuff, man. But I like his channel because it's just interesting. That's really why. It's not even that I agree with everything that I'm telling you guys. It's just check them out because it will expand your thinking. You might be like, oh, that's interesting. I never considered that. So RFG, Woodward TV, that's a good one. Jay Myers documentaries. Truth Stream Media. Truth Stream Media is a good one. Wild Smile, Hedgehog, Weekly Narrative, Hotep Jesus, Ron Paul Liberty Report, Uncle Tommy Red Pill, China Uncensored, Kirsten W. She's like a newer, smaller channel. She was a part of the RNC Sarasota down here in Florida. She talks about, she says some crazy stuff like Obama has HIV. Oh man. I'm gonna scroll back because she was very on point with this Florida election down here, which is why I initially subscribed to the channel. She debunked a lot. She uncovered a lot of truth with the caravans and how Soros was funding it indirectly in a roundabout way. So check out that channel too. Political Avenger, Project Veritas, The Truth Factory, Richie from Boston. Richie from Boston is he's just that. As soon as you listen to him speak, you're gonna be like, that guy is definitely from Boston. He's talked his latest video, which I haven't watched yet. If you guys are interested, direct energy weapons being used to prepare for. This is gonna sound crazy. I'm about to lose all credibility when I read this headline. Okay, nonetheless, his most recent video, directed energy being used to prepare for alien deception. Again, guys, be open-minded when you go subscribe to these channels, because I swear not all of his stuff is crazy like that. He talks about 5G a lot, man. I've been hearing people talk about this 5G stuff. 5G is something that they say is not good. We don't know the long-term effects of Wi-Fi, being exposed to Wi-Fi frequencies. Alex Jones talked about this too, like how they're able to use these over-the-air wavelengths to change a frog embryo into a salamander embryo, and how they can program us through these wavelengths. Again, it ties back to words and energy. Words are vibrations. Vibrations transcend physical beings. I'm going quantum physicist on y'all. But anyway, check out Richie from Boston. What else? High Impact Vlogs. Check out High Impact Vlogs. If there was one channel that I would say this is the one I want you guys to check out, like 100%, I would put it above the other ones. It looks like this. Okay. High Impact Flicks. It says High Impact Flicks because that was his original channel and they shut it down. But type in High Impact Vlogs. The guy's name is Brian. You don't see his face a whole lot, but he is on top of it. He is by far, I would put him up there as probably one of my top 3 or 4 channels that I listen to daily. Like, I don't miss any of his videos. So check him out. And Truther Talk, of course. Can't forget about Truther Talk. So, yeah, guys, I'm wrapping up because I'm getting really tired of talking physically, not mentally, physically. You just searched him and sub. Thank you, Dina. Tell me what you think. I'm curious. Watch any of his videos, and I guarantee you'll be like, damn, this dude is on point. And he drops a bunch of knowledge, and he brings a different perspective. Thing is, he's going to be more political, but he doesn't side with either or. He's just like, isn't it interesting how the media has people picking one side or the other. He says voting is a suggestion box for slaves. He doesn't believe in voting. He was a Ron Paul supporter, and he saw the way that they did Ron Paul. And was it 2008 when Ron Paul ran, and they screwed him out of the Republic, the RNC or whatever? I don't know. But check his channel out. You'll like it. I'm wrapping up, guys. So it's 12:52 Eastern. Within 8 minutes, I will be no longer on this live stream. And you guys will be sad, but you'll get over it because you know I'll live stream again. But I've given you guys homework assignments. Sub to those channels and find 10 people to sub to my channel, to this backup channel. When I talk to the main channel, I have like 11,500 subs, and I can't even get 100 of them each time I bring it up. I only get like 2 or 3 people that come sub to the backup channel. I don't know what to do, man, but I would love to get this channel to grow, and it's only really going to happen through a grassroots effort. So that's where you guys come in. But I'm wrapping up. So any last questions, comments, anything you guys want to say? Some of you asked, when will I be going live? You can basically plan on, just say tentatively, let's just put it in as a placeholder. Saturday nights, maybe not every Saturday night, but Saturday nights. If there was a way for me to let you guys know ahead of time that I would be doing it, like, so you guys know, oh, it's definitely going to be this Saturday night or whatever, then I would do it. But unless you're on Facebook or something, I don't know how to type a message. But yeah, I appreciate you guys all tuning in. I wish you could super chat, but if you want to donate, even $1 helps. Go to, do it through PayPal. PayPal/Mike-Nificent. Let me confirm that it's 813 and not 727. Ah, damn it. Okay. I've been saying 813 the whole time. That's for all my social media. Okay. So if you want to donate, it's through PayPal. It's PayPal.me/Mike-Nificent727. I'm going to try to switch that to 813. I don't know why it's 727. But I'm going to switch it to 813. But for now, it's 727. If you want to donate, you can do that there. I'm also on Venmo if you want to find me there. But thanks, guys, for tuning in, live streaming, being the best supporters on planet Earth. Appreciate you guys. Find me some subscribers. Sub to those channels that I told you about. Yep. PayPal, Mike-Nificent727. You got it right, Ron. That's right. Drop me some shillings, some pennies. You know, it goes a long way. It goes towards improving the channel, because I will eventually be doing this full time. This will eventually be my full-time job. And once Trump starts campaigning, I will be a soldier on the front line, making sure he gets reelected. So getting donations goes a long way towards that, because I'll have to skip out on work to go to rallies and, you know, that kind of thing. But you guys, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night. I'm signing off. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.